Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you a morning in our homeschool, just to kind of show you a realistic day, showing some of the things we cut out in the first trimester and all that. A couple things. My kids, they are finishing up breakfast. Say good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Also, maybe you saw in one of my previous videos that I talked about getting my life back together after it falling apart in the first trimester. One of the things that we got back together was our chore charts. So the kids have already completed all their chores today. The boys still need to unload the dishwasher. And then we have this little silly thing where only one of the boys cleaned his room so the other boys don't get to check it. And then Florence finished her chores. She still has to mark off cleaning the windows, but she just finished that. So it definitely feels nice feeling like we're all ready to go for the day and like our house is like a little more prepared. Okay, so I've shared before, the first thing we usually start with, and we usually do this during breakfast, but we didn't today, is I will get my daughter set up on extra math. Sorry, my baby's closing the doors. Thank you, Saddles. So I'll get my daughter set up on extra math first thing. Extra math, if you haven't used it, it's great. It's basically like online flashcards, and then once they reach certain goals, they get different trophies. I'll show you really quick all of my daughter's trophies that she's gotten. So we keep them inside here. And this was for like addition 1 through 12 or something. And then this was for subtraction, maybe 1 through 12. And then she just finished, or actually she's about to finish addition up to like 24, I believe. And then after that, she'll do subtraction. And then they also have like multiplication and division, but we're not there yet, obviously, which I think 3rd grade though you start, so pretty soon. But yeah, I'm gonna get her set up on that. I'm obviously like, I feel like you guys know, not huge on screen time, but I feel like this is something that's definitely worth the like 10 minutes of screen time. And like most days, this is the only screen time she gets, so I feel fine with it. Here you go. It's also, I didn't say this, it's free. It's totally free. There is a paid version where you can make your own things. So for example, once we finished addition and subtraction up to, I believe, 12, they didn't have addition and subtraction beyond that, and that's what I wanted her to do next. So you can do the paid version, and then you can create your own. So I did addition up to, I think, 24. And with that, it's paid, but it's only $2 a year. So I felt really fine paying that. But I will say with the paid one we're doing, she doesn't get trophies for that. So we're like making our own trophies up for that one because she does really like the trophies. Also, a couple updates in our homeschool room. I shared a couple videos ago where I switched our bookshelf, and then I also shared about a peg rail that I made that I wanted to hang up, but I hadn't gotten to it yet, and I finally got to it. So ready? Big reveal. Ta-da! I feel like it just looks so much better in here. This is the whole homeschool room now. So we have our chalkboard. Over here is where we do, like I'll hang up the children's artwork. And then now we have this cute little thing, our bookshelves. This is our like homeschool cabinet. Those are their books for next year, and I need to fit them in. Those are also books for next year. These are all of our current books, so it's kind of a mess right now. Also, we're selling this chair, so that's there right now. I hung this up. It used to be over here. I just don't know where to put it, so I just put it there for now. But yeah, this is the homeschool room. I'm going to get the boys started so they can be doing something while I go make my coffee. So we have really like dumbed this down a lot recently. This is 2-day. So on 2-day, you do the prayer and then you do the devotion, the Big Thoughts for Little People. We've only been doing the Big Thoughts for Little People devotion the first day. So it says to do it both days. We've only been doing it the first day, so we're not going to do it today. We've also been doing recitation only on the first day. I don't know, just to first trimester, make it a little easier on me. I don't know. We've also been doing calendar time only on the first day. So basically a lot of this stuff, we just do it every other day. Poor baby. Oh, poor baby. You need to go swing on the swing. Aw. So next is the alphabet lesson and writing. It says we're gonna review the letter M and then do our alphabet book 2, pages 8 through 9. So I'm gonna get them started on that and go make my coffee. Wilder, here's yours. Let me get you a pencil. And then Thatcher, here's yours. Do you want to write your own name, or do you want me to write it and you trace it?
Over here, there I trace it.
Okay. I'll write your name over here, then you can try it yourself over there, okay? We also have neighbor friends that I think I've talked about a lot. And they, I think, are off school for Good Friday because they're already on our fence right now looking if they can play. Need to replace her coffee. But Wilder ran out and told them that we can't play until after homeschool. So, like, even though it's Good Friday, if we don't have any plans, then we'll just stick to our regular routine. So we'll just keep doing homeschool. I really only take off for holidays if we like are doing something or going somewhere. Okay, also real life, I need to change his diaper really quick. So I'm going to get them started on their next thing so they're not just waiting on me. Oh, good job, you already started. Okay, good tracing. Did you trace your M's, Thatcher? Finish your name and then trace your M's. Wilder, you circle all of the uppercase M's and the lowercase M's, okay? So find all of them in here and circle them, okay?
Yeah.
Flo, you go ahead and start doing your cursive, okay? Good job, looks like you got them all. How many uppercase M's are there?
1, 2.
2. So then write the number 2 right here. Wow, that's a perfect 2. Good job.
So perfect.
I know, that's so good. Good job. All right, let me check Thatcher. Good job, Flo. Okay, so here, circle all of the M's you see. Circle all of the uppercase and lowercase M's, okay? Help the mice find its way to the cheese, okay?
I know it's for to help it.
You do?
Did it.
Good job.
That's perfect.
Also, if you guys remember when I first started Memoria with the twins, I was saying, like, I think my goal is to do junior kindergarten twice with them, which I think I shared this recently somewhere, but I want to make sure you guys hear it here too. I realized that that's totally unnecessary. I really just want to make sure that they knew all of their letters and letter sounds and recognized their numbers and all of that. But I realized, like, we don't need to do the whole thing twice. We just need to, like, really practice flashcards a lot more. So that's what I've been focusing on more with them, is just kind of doing what we're doing at, like, the regular pace, but making time for flashcards more at night. So a lot of nights they'll crawl in bed with me and they'll each get about 10 minutes on a timer, and we'll do flashcards of recognizing the alphabet and their numbers and letter sounds and all that. Just remember, I'm a young homeschool mom, and I'm just sharing my experience as I'm learning. Saddles, pow pow.
Me? I can put them back. Go.
We just finished alphabet book 2, and next we're doing alphabet coloring book. I just went ahead and checked it because I know we're about to do it. So guys, what letter is this? M. What sound does M make?
It's a
M says And then each of these pictures start with the letter M. Moon. Does that start with
Yeah.
Yep. And what about man? Does that start with
Yeah.
Right. So now you can color these pages, okay? Yeah, go get water really quick. Another thing I think I've shared in the past is I used to, when I first started, focus on flow, and then after flow, I would do homeschool with the boys. But I noticed that a lot of days by the time I was finished with flow, I just didn't really have the energy or desire to do homeschool with the boys because I was just, it was already like hours of homeschool. And I also realized that usually there's certain parts of Flo's homeschool that just take her a while. So usually handwriting, if we're doing spelling and she has to write words, that can take a long time. So I just try to fit the boys in during that time now. So like she just finished her cursive and the boys are like almost finished. So I've just realized that starting them all at the same time just works a lot better.
Can you keep track again? My camera. Can I put it outside now?
Since the boys are still not finished and I still have to kind of actively work with them, she has a spelling test and it's just hard to do that while working with the twins. So she is going ahead and finishing up her spelling practice sheets because she didn't finish those yesterday. So that's just where she'll write all of her words once in cursive and then she'll trace them in a different color. Then she'll write them again and then trace them again in a different color. So she's doing that right now. Can you see, Draper? I like the color you picked. Thatcher, can I see yours?
Mama,
You finished?
yeah.
Good job. I'll get you your next book, okay? Next, you guys have numbers and colors. Pow pow! Okay, next they're starting numbers and colors, which is a book we just started a few weeks ago, like halfway through the year. First, they're going to trace the number 3 and then write it lots of times. And then here, they're going to circle the object that continues the pattern. Then they will trace the word blue quite a few times, and then they will color all the pictures blue. So this is a fun little book.
Wait.
3. And then how many B's are there?
Wait.
3. Trace the number 3 and then practice writing the number 3, okay? So after they finish their numbers and colors book, all they have left is the numbers coloring book. So yeah, just a reminder that junior kindergarten with Memoria is really just a lot of fun, lots of coloring. It's definitely not just like boring sit down for hours. Also, I think I've shared before with Draper, he's just kind of for fun right now. When I decided to do junior kindergarten with the twins, last minute I was like, maybe I'll just throw in a consumable set for Draper and just see where he's at. But very quickly learned he is not ready at all. So he has the same books and he just kind of scribbles in them and that's fine. Next year, I think I'll probably just have him kind of play in the same books again and maybe just focus on flashcards next year with him. I don't know. I haven't really thought much about it for him yet.
I did it!
Wow, great writing. Next, you color the pictures blue. Because all of these things are blue. This is a bluebird, a cloud, a whale, and then a pool. Once you guys finish that, then you just have this book left, and then you can go play outside. I think all of the kids are extra motivated to finish school quickly this morning because their friends are waiting for them to play. Now just do this book, and then you're all finished. So what number is this?
3.
3. Then it says, count and color the teddy bears. So how many teddy bears are there?
1, 2, 3.
3. So color just the teddy bears, okay? And then you're all done. Another bad first trimester habit that I started was for our read aloud. After homeschool, I would say, okay, we'll all read our read aloud together in bed tonight. And then bedtime would come around and I was like so tired. So we have like this stack of read alouds that we need to catch up on, which I'm actually like super excited about because I love like reading picture books to the kids. It's funny because now I have like the energy to do it and I'm really excited to do it. But now after homeschool, they're all playing with their friends. So I feel bad like calling them back in to like read books. But we definitely need to do it this weekend because I'm actually really excited. Go have fun. Okay, Thatcher's still coloring. Wilder just left, he's finished. So that checks off everything for day 2. Obviously, day 1 is a lot more full because day 1 is when we do include everything we didn't do today, like the devotion, the recitation, calendar time, the book. Good job, go ahead. The song, the poetry, etc. So day 2 is kind of our short day. Okay, so I was wrong. I thought today was test day, but it's actually like the practice test day, which is still hard to do with like the boys around. So basically, I'm supposed to ask her, I will say a suffix and you will write that suffix. So the first one is, how do you spell ing as in carrying? And she's supposed to write it out. It's a lot of writing for her. So I usually will write this part for her as long as she just spells it aloud by herself. And then a lot of times the sentence I'll have her do on the chalkboard. I will say a suffix and you will write that suffix, or you will tell me how to spell that suffix. How do you spell ing as in carrying?
ing.
Correct. How do you spell id as in batted, hopped, or carried?
Ed.
Ed. How do you spell fl, as in flying?
FL.
FL?
I already know that because my name is Flo, as in flow.
You're right. It is nice doing this before doing the spelling words because I do feel like it like prepares her better for her spelling words, spelling the suffixes and then the consonant blends beforehand. I really like that they do that. Okay, now for your spelling words. Okay, now it's time for her to write her practice spelling sentence, her spelling practice sentence. I said earlier that we've been doing the chalkboard, but I forgot that we've actually been using these instead because it helps her like practice writing her letters the right way, making sure they're the right height and all that. Also, you could just totally do it right here. I just feel like this makes it like more fun for her for some reason. So in class, he studied flying and playing jazz. So do you want me to repeat it again?
Yeah.
In class, comma, he studied flying and playing jazz. Really quick, just to walk you through the second grade guide. So first starts with scripture, poetry, recitation. Past few weeks, first trimester, have just been kind of like bare minimum homeschool, so we haven't been doing that. For spelling, we haven't been doing the supplemental workbook as much the last few weeks. Some days we will, some days we won't. What I've been doing lately is if we do the practice test and I feel like she needed a lot of help from me, then I'll make sure to do the supplemental workbook the next day. Because the supplemental workbook is just kind of like practice writing the words and stuff. But if she did like fine on her practice test, then we just like won't do it the next day before her test. So then next we have Prima Latina, and today we just have daily recitation, review, and then we don't have the Prima Latina copybook, so we don't have that. And then also in the Latin section on Thursday, you do Introduction to English Grammar. We haven't been doing that as much, which I don't plan to just like totally get rid of these things. Introduction to English Grammar, and what's the other one? English Grammar Practice. They're very like quick, kind of fun pages, and we've very easily caught up on them in the past when we've missed them. So I just kind of plan to like one day kind of have a catch-up day, which is like actually really realistic because they're very quick, simple pages. With Latin, I'm just going to have her do review by doing the flashcards on the Memoria Press app. I think I've shared about it before, but they have an app where you can listen to all the pronunciations. There's like a teacher that teaches the lessons if you want that. And then there's also flashcards that you can purchase, and I have them. And I'll just have her do that while I make lunch really quick for the other kids because my baby's hungry and he also needs to go down for a nap. So I just need to feed them really quick while she does the flashcards. Okay, so this is another thing that's changed in the first trimester. I have been buying tortillas, which I know they're so easy to make and I prefer to do things from scratch if I can, but making like, how many is in here? Probably like 100, no, probably like 50 or something. Tortillas, when we go through them so fast, you know, it just takes a lot of time. And having tortillas for quesadillas, it's just such a simple lunch. I literally just do a tortilla, and then I add shredded mozzarella or just whatever shredded cheese we have on hand. Usually we have mozzarella for pizza. And then I add 2 slices of ham and then another tortilla. And that's our quesadillas. The only thing is these ones are sticking together so bad that they're all just turning into shreds. The ones I get are like organic tortillas, so that makes me feel better. I actually, last week from Costco, they had ones that were made like only 4 or 5 ingredients made with avocado oil. And those ones were like uncooked, so you had to cook them first before you, which I mean, cooking them, you just like lay it on one side for 30 seconds and then the next side for 30 seconds. So it was really quick too. And I really liked them. They actually tasted better too. But when I looked at the price, they were like more than double the price for like not nearly as much than this pack. So I just felt like this pack was probably the best idea for our family right now, even though those ones were like healthier and tasted better. These ones are still organic, and sometimes, you know, oh, give Mom a kiss. Mwah. Yay! Yay!
Okay.
Here is your flashcards.
A-R is Aussies.
Because
it's so cool.
Hey! I'm gonna let him finish his quesadilla and then go put him down for a nap. And then Flo and I will finish math and reading. We got a late start today. I don't know if I said that. So we're gonna go a little later into the day with homeschool today. Okay guys, we're getting there. Next we have math. We're still using Math Mammoth. It's divided into lessons. So like the beginning of each chapter says all the lessons and how many pages it is. But you can also just go from like the first bold title until the next there, and that'll tell you how many pages to do. So today we have to do these 2 pages and then this one. But it's measuring, and measuring is quick and fun. So I feel like this is an easy math day. Oh, and we have a ruler now. We were doing this yesterday with no ruler too. We had to make our own. So this line is 1 inch long. This line is 1/2 of an inch long. 2 1/2 inches make 1 inch. How long are the lines of inches and 1/2 inches when placed end to end? Also, this is another thing where I'll just kind of do the writing for Flo. As long as she's answering all of the questions orally, I'll just write the answer for her. So how many inches is this one?
2.
2. What about this one?
1.5 inches.
Right. Good job. What about this one? So how long are these things in inches? So how long is this pencil in inches?
3.5
Correct.
inches.
3.5 inches. What about the next one? How long is this crown? And then the last one, how long is this pencil?
About 5.
About 5 inches. Good job. Last page. Isn't this quick?
Yeah, I did all of these so fast.
First, we have to guess how long these lines are in inches and 1/2 inches, and then after that, we'll measure. So how long do you think this one is? I'm gonna guess 3.5. What do you think?
3.
You think 3?
3 inches.
Okay.
How much did you guess?
3.5. Remember that has to be touching the end? That one's 3.5. I was right. 5.5.
Ah,
I won!
whoever doesn't get all of them right wins.
I don't think that's how the game works. Okay, so we just finished math. Another thing I love about Math Mammoth is at the beginning of each chapter, they have this whole page with like different resources you can use. So this whole page is just different online games that you can use for your children to play. And some of them are like total flops, and then some of them are really fun. We found one on adding money that's really fun, where you have to like drop the coins into the truck and then drive the truck to the house. But one I actually want to look for is, I feel like my daughter needs extra practice with clocks. I might see on the clock chapter if there's some games that we could try for that one. I don't know if I've said this already, but I think I did when I showed all of our homeschool curriculum for next year. But for the boys, they're not going to do Math Mammoth. They're going to do the Memoria Press Math. The Memoria Press Math is very like mastery focused and lots of repetition, which I feel like is what the boys would do better with. They say Math Mammoth is more for like math-minded people, is at least what I've heard. And Flo does well with it, but I could see my boys needing more like repetition and mastery. So all we have left today is reading. Right now we're reading Brambley Hedge, The High Hills, which I'd never read these books before, so I'm really enjoying it. And then this is the student guide and the teacher guide. So first we'll go through the pre-reading, introduce the new words, so she'll just practice reading the new words, the syllabication words, all of our phonics flashcards, but ours are upstairs right now and I don't really want to grab them, so we're just going to pass that part today. But I do think that's very helpful. I wouldn't skip it too much because I do feel like reading the phonics flashcards really helps her remember all the rules as she's reading. Then after that, we'll go do all the reading. We like to do it on the porch. I think I said that. And then after that, we will do this page in the student guide. There's usually like defining vocabulary, comprehension questions, discussion questions, and then sometimes there's something different every day. So today it's a language lesson on contractions. There's also different activities that you can do in some of the lessons. So this one was actually really fun. We don't always do the activities just because it's a lot, and you know, sometimes you have to have like certain supplies. But this one, in the High Heels book, who is it, Flax and Lily, they like dye fabrics or whatever. So we got to dye fabric yesterday using turmeric and hot water. And you're supposed to just like dye white cotton fabric, but we actually dyed Florence's white sweater, and it's like bright yellow now, like sunshine yellow, and it's so cute. So that was a really fun activity to do. Okay, so we actually just finished Little House in the Big Woods, and reading Brambly Hedge after that feels like so refreshing, because Brambly Hedge, the sections are so much shorter. Like in Brambly Hedge, it's only like 4 small pages, whereas Little House was like much more than that. But I think someone in the comments here or on Instagram asked me maybe if we skipped Little House in the Big Woods, and they said that a lot of people tend to do that because it's like overwhelming for the children. But if you look at the beginning of the literature guides, probably the teacher's one, in this area where it says teaching guidelines, there it says for the reading section, it says for younger students, which my daughter, she technically should be in 1st grade right now because she's 6, but it says for younger students, you can alternate between teacher-read and student-read passages, model good reading skills, encourage students to read expressively and smoothly. The teacher may occasionally take oral reading grades, blah, blah, blah. So for Little House in the Big Woods, we just took turns on pages. So I would read a page, she would read a page, I would read a page, she would read a page. Because yeah, reading the whole book by yourself would have been like so hard and like so tough. So yeah, I just wonder if like a lot of people didn't know that part where they do recommend that for younger students. They also, I think in the other book, mentioned like you could switch between, they read one paragraph, you read the next paragraph. So you could either switch between paragraphs or pages. With Brambly Hedge, she just reads the whole thing herself because it's like a lot shorter. But with Little House, we did take turns. So what's this word?
Hawthorn.
Thorn.
Thorn tree. Hawthorn tree.
Okay. Time to read. Let me see.
So how many pages do we have to read?
4.
Huh?
I know, isn't it small?
Yeah. 4.
Okay, well, we just finished reading, and their friends are over now playing. So, finished with homeschool. I need to think about dinner because I got the Blackstone already yesterday, and now the kids are like begging me to make a Blackstone meal tonight. So I need to like think about what to make. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I post videos every Tuesday and Thursday. I'll see you in the next one.